Cool transformations. Goku does it, badass. Naruto does it, badass. Luffy does it, badass. Eren Yeager does it, badass. My mom, when she's about to kick my ass, debatable. But anyway, transformations are fucking dope. It literally says to a character, hey, you've gotten so stronger or reached a new level of power that you have to physically change your form in order to adapt to this new thing you got. How is that not amazing? And not only do you see it in comic books and you see it in anime, but you'll definitely see it in Tonkatsu, especially in Kamen Rider. I mean, after all, the first writer who ever did it is easily one of the greatest writers of all time, Kamen Rider Black. And I'm not saying that because he's black. His name's Black and I'm black. It's just that like he's one of like he's black. So Black RX is easily one of the best writers out there because he introduced the first thing called Rider Form Change, where he changed into multiple different forms. This immediately became a milestone in the Kamen Rider franchise. It was like, well, I guess most of the guys coming after him is gonna have to have this. I guess we're gonna have to give a lot of writers different forms for two reasons. One, there's no better way of keeping kids entertained by having a writer who can transform to fit different situations. And two, think of all of the fucking toys, and more fucking toys we can sell. So anyway, I like forms just as much as the next guy. Don't get me wrong. I wear different clothes all the time. I have different outfits. I love changing. But is there such thing as too much? Can too much actually hurt a story? Well, let's just look at the things that worked and the ones that didn't. Things like Kamen Rider Kuga, Kamen Rider Agito, and Kamen Rider Blade are all great because they have form changes that actually make sense to the story. In Kamen Rider Kuga, every form that Kuga gets from growing to up is something that happens for him. He has to physically get himself stronger in order to reach this stage. So nothing he got was just handed to him because he's like, oh, just the main character. He had to work for it to get there. So there was a real struggle there. In Kamen Rider Agito, apparently he was just genetically bred to be this great, but combat had to make him evolve. In order for him to get the forms that he had, and the forms that he did, he had to go through some shit. And how did he go through some shit? Well, he had to fight monsters. He fought the monsters, and that would constantly cause him to evolve or grow. In Kamen Rider Blade, he had to seal monsters away. And the higher the level of the monster, the harder it was to seal it. Eventually, he had to have a fist fight with a giant beetle, humanoid dude who could like summon swords from. He was badass, but it just shows that that transformation was earned at the end of the series. That's awesome. Why is that not awesome to some people? That works. That's great. Let's keep going with things like that. Now, let's look at write a series with, I don't know, maybe not really form changes, but gimmicks. Kamen Rider Forze, Kamen Rider Wizard, and Kamen Rider Gaim. Now, these three, in and of themselves, only one of the three actually sucked to me personally as a bad series. However, these series represent what's wrong with the franchise as a whole. It seems like Bandai is really focused on not necessarily giving us a good story with forms to get, but just gimmicks to help progress the story somehow. Like Kamen Rider Forze, they have things called Astro Switches that go inside his belt. He needs 4 to activate and transform into his Forze form. Activate and transform into his Forze form. The problem is that the series introduces 40 of them. And he only uses a handful of them. And that makes no sense. Let's look at Kamen Rider Wizard. He gets magical rings that a guy makes for him. And all of these rings have different spells and do this and that and that. But he only uses a handful of them. A handful. Like literally, he only uses about a good few. And don't even get me started on his forms. For God's sakes, if I've done the math correctly, he gets 11 forms. And honestly, he only uses probably 4 to 5 the entire series all of the way through. It's actually fucking bonkers. What was the point of even introducing these forms? This is my biggest thing. My biggest problem with this is that it's introducing things that is not needed. Why give someone 15 different tools to fix a problem or any problem in their home when realistically they only need 3 to do it? This is why I love the older series from the Heisei era, like Kuga, Agito, Ryuki, Foz, Blade. These guys actually had forms that actually fit a certain situation, and it felt like it was almost earned to a certain extent. Some are exceptions to this rule, but that's great. What we have here now, in O's, Forze, Wizard, Gaim, and series like that, a lot of them have gimmicks. And these gimmicks are not really form changes that actually help make the writer go woo. It's more along the lines of, hey, let's sell more toys for this, which to me hurts the show in and of itself.
I mean, but Kiva sucked and he had like 4.
Look, stop it. I'm talking because this is serious. This is something that's been on my mind and plaguing me for the longest. So let me know. Am I right? Am I wrong? Does my opinion even matter to you at all? Just let me know in the comment section below. If you like what you saw here and like me rambling and like doing all this other good stuff, bam, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and subscribe, because I'm gonna do more. And I'm not gonna just talk about Kamen Rider. I'm gonna talk about your favorite multicolored people in suits too, because I talk about more people wearing spandex. So I'm Lambo Calrissian, and just stick with 3 forms, Bandai. You can't go wrong. Kamen Rider Wizard, Kamen